So hello, today we'll start, we'll continue with the course of heat and mass transfer. And in the previous class we have studied about the basic concepts of heat transfer. Okay, the modes of heat transfer. Okay, so today we'll discuss more about conduction, which we have already started in the earlier class. Okay, so the conduction is a mode of heat transfer. We have studied how conduction takes place in solids. Now today we'll start with the Fourier's law of heat conduction. Okay, so the Fourier's law, we'll start with the Fourier's law. So the Fourier's law, it states that the Fourier's law states that the rate of heat flux is proportional to the temperature gradient for one dimensional unidirectional heat conduction. Okay, so it states that the rate of heat flux is linearly proportional to the temperature gradient. So this is the statement of the Fourier's law. It means that the heat transfer of the dq by dt. What is the heat flux? Heat flux is denoted by dq by dt. Okay, so the heat transfer, it will be proportional to the temperature gradient. Okay, so this is the temperature gradient. So we will multiply with the proportion constant. So why this minus sign is there? This minus is there because the temperature gradient actually it decreases along the length. Okay, so we have added this minus sign. Okay, now what is this? Q is the rate of heat flux. Q is the rate of heat flux. Okay, and this dt by dx, it is the temperature gradient. Is the temperature gradient. And suppose in x direction. And K is constant of proportionality. Okay, so K is the constant. Okay, so now this K is unique for a particular body, for a particular material. Okay, so this K is the property of a material. It depends on the material through which the heat is being conducted. It can be steel or aluminum or any material. It is constant for a particular material. Okay, so this K is the property of a material, and it is known as the thermal conductivity of the material. It is known as the thermal conductivity of the material. Okay, so you have understood this equation, and you have also understood why this is negative. Okay, this is negative because this slope of this dt by dx is negative, and because heat flows from higher to the lower temperature. Heat flows from higher to the lower temperature, so this is negative. Okay. Now this Q has a particular direction. This Q has a particular direction. Okay, so this Q is a vector quantity. Okay, this Q is a vector quantity, you must know. This heat flux is a vector quantity. Okay, now consider this wall. This wall having is made of a material of thermal conductivity K and having a thickness of X, and heat flows in this direction from this temperature from T1 to T2. T1, where T1 is greater than T2. Okay, it is flowing from high temperature to the low temperature. So now what will be the equation for this? Q is equal to minus K into dt by dx. So dt will be final temperature minus initial temperature. This is final temperature and this is initial temperature by x. And the unit will be watt per meter square. This is the unit for heat flux. If A is the surface area, A is the surface area. So this is the A. Okay, this is a two-dimensional figure. If you consider this as three-dimensional, suppose like this. If you consider, so the heat is flowing in this direction. So this area, this is the cross-sectional area. Okay, this is the A. This area is normal to this area is perpendicular to this direction of the heat flow. Okay. So this Q, this is actually, suppose this is small q, because this is the heat transfer per unit area. We are considering it per unit area. So the amount of heat transfer will be, this is the rate of heat transfer, will multiply it by A. You write this as it is. So this T2 minus T1 is, this will be negative quantity. Okay, this will be negative quantity. You can also write this as K into A into T1 minus T2 by X. This is watt per meter square, so this will be watts. Okay. And this Q will be heat flowing per second. This is the amount of heat flowing per second. So this dimension of this K is thermal conductivity is watt per meter into Kelvin. So now see from here, this dt by dx equal to q by k. So if suppose for the same q, if we choose a material whose K is low, the thermal conductivity is low for insulating materials. Suppose for insulating materials, okay, K is low. So for that material, the dt by dx will be very high, and there will be a large temperature difference across the wall. Okay, so this is true for insulating materials, that the temperature difference is very high because K is low. And for materials where K is high, like conductors such as copper, okay, silver, the dt by dx will be small. dt by dx will be small for conducting materials. So the temperature difference will be very less, okay, for such materials. Okay, so you have understood about this concept. It is a very simple concept. Okay, now we'll discuss the similarity between the electrical resistance concept and this mechanical resistance. Okay, so we'll study the resistance concept. Now this resistance concept, okay, so this heat flow is analogous to the flow of electricity. Okay, you know the basic concept of Ohm's law, which states that the current flowing through a wire is proportional to the potential difference. Okay. Suppose current is flowing, there is potential difference E. So the current will be I will be E by R. Okay, so now this E by R, so this I is directly proportional to the potential difference voltage, okay, because 1 by R is constant. R is the resistance which is constant and which is the property of which is unique for a particular material. It is a property of a material. Okay, so similarly, in the case of heat flow, the temperature difference and the heat flux. Okay, so the temperature difference and the heat flux in conduction, it is similar to the relation between this potential difference and this current. Okay, you are understanding this, I hope. Now this heat conduction rate through the wall, which we write as okay, now this, as you know, this is the negative quantity, so you can write this as okay. Now this is similar to the temperature difference is similar to that of the voltage potential difference in electricity, so you can write as T1 minus T2 by x by k. So this x by k, this quantity, this is similar to resistance in electric current. This is a constant. This x by k is a constant. This R can be similar to x by k. So this is this x by k, this quantity. This is known as the thermal resistance. So this is the thermal resistance to heat flow. That is offered by the wall. Okay, so now consider this composite wall. Consider this composite wall. Okay, so you can see there are two walls, okay, that are joined to each other. Okay, they are made up of different materials. They have different thermal conductivities. Okay, this is K1 and K2. Now this is similar to a series resistance, a combination of two series resistance. This is say R1 and this is say R2. This is similar to a series resistance. And suppose this temperature is T1, this is Ti, and this is T2. Okay, so the combination of resistances will be R1 plus R2. So this is similar to this composite wall, and its resistance will be, now this thickness is x1 and x2 respectively, thickness of the first and the second walls. Because the resistance will be, you know what is the thermal resistance. The combination of thermal resistance will be x1 by K1 into A. The area of cross section will be equal for two walls, as you can see, because they are joined back to back. So this is the total thermal resistance. This is the total resistance offered by this composite wall made up of two materials. So this is suppose R1 and this is R2. This can be said as R1 and this is R2. So the total resistance R will be R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2. And the rate of heat flow will be Q will be as you know T1 minus T2 by R. So T1 minus T2 by this total R. Okay, I am not writing over here. So this will be the rate of heat flow. Now in another case we consider this two walls. You can see if they are connected in parallel. These are connected in parallel, similar to the two walls that are connected in series earlier. Now if they are connected in this way, so the heat will be flowing from in this direction. Okay, in this direction. So you see So this is similar to the parallel connection, parallel circuit. So here the cross sectional area will be not the same as in the earlier case. So you can see this Q1 is flowing through this cross section area, okay, and Q2 through the another cross section area. So suppose this one is A1 and this for Q2 it will be A2, but the cross section area is different. So in this case the equivalent thermal resistance will be similar to the electrical resistance. 1 by R is equal to 1 by R1 plus 1 by R2. So R will be R1 R2 by R1 plus R2. So what is R1? R1 is X by K1 A1 and R2 will be X by K2 A2, X by K2 A2. Okay, so this is the X, this distance is X. So by putting these two values of R1 and R2, you can find out this value of R. So it will be a complex number. Okay, so this will be complex. So similarly you can see that the heat flow, the rate of heat flow you can find, it is T1 minus T2 by R. So now you put the value of R by putting the value of R1 and R2 and you put here. Okay, so this will be a bit complex one, but you can find out the value of heat flow for this condition. Okay, so this is about the resistance concept. I hope you have understood this resistance concept. So you can find out the rate of heat flow for a composite wall for this kind of problems. Okay, so we will continue with the discussion in the next class. Okay, so we finish my lecture over here for today. Okay, so thank you.